a door just closed somewhere and on the other side of it, voices are rising. I want to start there because that is the exact image that arrived the moment I tuned into your energy today. Not gentle, not soft, a confrontation, the kind where two or more people are standing across from each other and one of them is finally saying out loud what they have been holding back for a long time. And the subject of that confrontation is you, Virgo, or more precisely, the version of you that was told, the incomplete version, the edited story that someone constructed and distributed about what happened between the two of you, and that the people who once believed it are now demanding answers for. Stay with me. This one moves through several distinct layers, and I want to walk you through every single one of them. Let me describe what I felt first when I opened this energy, because the order in which things arrived matters. The very first thing was pressure, a building, compressed kind of pressure, the sensation you feel right before something finally breaks open after being held too tightly for too long. This is not a slow, gentle unraveling. This is the energy of something that has reached its breaking point and is now spilling out faster than anyone involved can fully control. Someone constructed a story about you, not the full truth, but a curated, strategic version designed to protect themselves and to position you as the problem, the difficult one, the reason things fell apart. And for a while, that story worked. People believed it. They took sides. They distanced themselves from you, or spoke about you with judgment, or simply assumed the worst, all based on information that was never the complete picture. That season is ending right now, in real time, as this reading reaches you. I am being shown the specific dynamic of what is unfolding. There is a person or possibly a small group of people who were close to whoever told this incomplete story, people who trusted them, people who absorbed the version of events they were given without much skepticism, because trust does not usually demand evidence, especially not in the beginning. But trust erodes when inconsistencies pile up, and inconsistencies have been piling up. Something recently surfaced, a piece of information, a conversation, a detail that did not match what they had been told. And once one piece of the story cracked, the rest of it became impossible to hold together with the same confidence it once carried. People who once nodded along are now asking harder questions, and the person who built that narrative is now sitting across from someone who is looking at them and asking directly, without softening it, why didn't you tell us everything? I want to slow down here because Spirit is being very specific about what this confrontation actually sounds like, and I think it matters that you understand the texture of it. This is not a quiet, private moment of doubt happening internally in someone's mind. This is an actual verbal confrontation, real words being exchanged. The specific kind of conversation where someone's voice shifts, where the usual social politeness drops away because the stakes of being lied to or manipulated feel too significant to manage delicately. The person asking the questions is not gentle in this moment. They feel deceived, and deception, once recognized, tends to produce a sharper response than simple disagreement would. There is an edge to what is being said, a demand for honesty that was not extended the first time around. Let me speak to what specifically triggered this shift, because understanding the catalyst helps you understand why this is happening now rather than earlier or later. Something became visible that could not have become visible without time passing. Either new information reached this person directly, or they witnessed something themselves that directly contradicted what they had been told, or someone else who also knew the fuller picture finally spoke up. Truth has a way of leaking out through multiple small openings rather than one dramatic reveal, and it seems like enough of those small openings have now accumulated to create a flood. I am also sensing that this person did some of their own investigating, not in a dramatic, obsessive way, but in the natural way people do when something does not sit right with them. A question asked here, a comment that did not add up there, slowly building a different picture than the one they were originally handed. Does this feel like it is connecting to a specific situation in your life right now, Virgo? Is there someone who told a version of events about you that left out important context and people who once stood with them based on that story? Let me know in the comments. I want to know how this is resonating. Now, I want to talk about what this means for you specifically, because this entire confrontation, even though you may not be in the room for it, directly concerns your reputation and the truth of who you actually are. The people who are now questioning what they were told are, in essence, beginning the process of seeing you more clearly. Whether or not they reach out to you directly anytime soon, something in their understanding of the situation is shifting. The simplified, villain-shaped version of you that they accepted is becoming harder to maintain in the face of inconsistencies they cannot ignore. This does not mean instant vindication. It does not mean everyone is suddenly going to apologize to you tomorrow, or that the full truth is going to be broadcast to every person who once judged you unfairly. Healing perceptions and shifting group dynamics tend to move more gradually than that, but the foundation underneath the false narrative is cracking, and cracks do not repair themselves. They widen. I want to speak to the emotional weight of what it has felt like for you to exist under an incomplete story, because I do not want to skip past your experience in favor of only describing what other people are doing. Being misrepresented, especially to people who matter or who once mattered to you, carries a specific kind of quiet pain. It is different from being directly confronted with hostility. It is the pain of knowing that somewhere conversations are happening about you that do not include your voice, your context, your side of events. You cannot defend yourself against a story you may not even fully know the contents of. You can only sense its effects, the coolness in someone's tone, the distance that appeared without explanation, the sense that you are being judged for something you were never given the chance to clarify. That has been hard. I want to acknowledge that directly before moving forward. You have likely carried this with more grace than it deserved, continuing to show up as yourself even while knowing that somewhere a distorted version of you was circulating. Let me speak to what happens as a result of this confrontation, because Spirit is showing me a sequence of events that I want to walk through carefully. The person who originally told the incomplete story is going to struggle to maintain it under direct, repeated questioning. Lies and partial truths require consistency to survive, and consistency becomes nearly impossible once multiple people start comparing notes and noticing the gaps. I am seeing this person becoming defensive, possibly even more evasive, which will only deepen the suspicion rather than calm it. This defensiveness is going to be its own kind of confirmation for the people questioning them. When someone has nothing to hide, direct questions tend to produce direct, consistent answers. When someone has constructed a narrative to serve themselves, direct questions tend to produce deflection, irritation, or attempts to change the subject. People notice this, even if they cannot immediately name what they are noticing. Inhale with me for a moment, Virgo. I want to address something important here, which is what your role should be in all of this, if any. This is not necessarily a moment for you to insert yourself into the conversation, to reach out and explain your side, to try to control the outcome of what is unfolding between other people. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is allow truth to do its own work without your direct intervention. Forced explanations can sometimes look defensive even when they are not, especially to people who are already in the process of questioning a narrative on their own. Let this process happen. Let the people who are realizing they were not given the full picture come to their own conclusions through their own investigation. When people arrive at truth on their own terms, rather than having it handed to them by the person it concerns, it tends to land with more weight and more lasting impact. I want to speak to what this means for the relationships that may eventually realign in your favor, because I feel that this confrontation is not just about exposing a lie. It is about repositioning who is trusted and who is not within this particular circle of people. Some of the people who are currently questioning what they were told are going to come away from this with a significantly different understanding of you, not instantly, but over the coming weeks. Their behavior toward you, if and when paths cross again, may carry a different quality, more warmth where there was coolness, more openness where there was distance. Some of them may never directly acknowledge what shifted, but you will likely feel the difference in how they engage with you. Others may not fully reconcile their previous judgment with this new information right away. People do not always update their perceptions quickly or gracefully, even when presented with clear evidence. Some will need more time, some may never fully come around, and that is something you may need to make peace with rather than chase. Let me speak to the person at the center of this, the one who told the incomplete story and is now facing direct questions about it. I am seeing genuine discomfort in their energy right now. Not necessarily full remorse. That is a different and slower process. But discomfort with the unraveling itself. They did not anticipate this confrontation happening, at least not this directly or this soon. There was likely an assumption on their part that their version of events would simply remain the accepted one, that no one would dig deeper, that time would let the story settle permanently into place. That assumption is failing them now, and whether or not this leads to a genuine accounting on their part, whether they eventually own what they did or continue trying to manage the damage through more deflection, the people around them are already forming their own conclusions independent of whatever this person says next. As I bring this reading toward its close, I want to leave you with something steady to hold on to. You do not need to control how this unfolds. You do not need to chase clarity from people who chose to believe an incomplete story without first coming to you. The truth is already doing the work that needs to be done through conversations you are not even present for, through inconsistencies that are surfacing on their own timeline. Your responsibility in all of this is simply to continue being who you actually are. Consistent, honest, unbothered by the noise enough to keep living your life with integrity. That consistency is, and always has been, the most convincing evidence against any false narrative. Let people come to their own realizations. Let the confrontations happen without your involvement. And trust that the version of you that exists in reality, the one you know yourself to be, is far more durable than any story built to obscure it. If this reading resonated with you today, please share it with a Virgo who might be navigating something similar right now. And let me know in the comments if this connects to a situation you have been carrying quietly. I read every comment and I carry your stories with real care long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo. The truth does not need your defense to survive. It is already finding its own way out.